Hello everybody. This is Tanya and I just wanted to make a quick video. Before I went through my targeting, I was extremely nice, friendly, and very naive. Even though I was in heavy sin, I was just nice and gullible, and that was just me. I believe I've been targeted for all my life. If I go back on incidents, I can remember, but when I really realized I was being targeted and followed and all this stuff, it was in 2013. And the more that it progressed, I noticed that the more angry I have become going through this whole thing. It's just been like an emotional roller coaster. And my language has been very foul. Very foul. And that's something that I definitely want to work on and get that under control. I have prayed on it. Going through all this stuff is a lot though. And before I even realized what I was going through, I was with a man. I married a white guy, and come to find out, like I said, he ended up being a Hell's Angel. But so I went through a lot of abuse in that marriage, and my kids were sexually abused, and all kind of stuff happened. And you know, he would call me nigger like almost every second of the day, and spit on me and spit in my food, and it was like I didn't have the strength to leave, like. And I remember saying, I don't want to kill him, I don't want to hurt him. I used to just pray. And I just thought maybe he was just, mentally ill, and I'd pray for him. And but it was bigger than that, but he tormented me a lot, like mental torment. And now, my mom did the same thing to me growing up, but now I know how to cuss people out. And it's like going through this thing has had me like in a battle, like I'm always ready to fight, like, I don't know what might happen at any second. So, there's times where I know how to just shut up and pay attention and watch with my eyes. And there's other times that I can say the slickest stuff will come out my mouth. Or, a lot of times they just sit around you and laugh and stare and do all this weird stuff. And I could be having a bad day or time, and literally I could cuss someone out so badly that I know it's wrong. Afterwards, I kind of know that it's wrong. And then, I kind of pray for the people, or pray, but I have to get control over that, because like even my kids, when they're bad or doing something they have no business doing, because like going through this targeting, like I said, kids are anybody's used against you. So your mind could be thinking about how you're gonna get this money to pay a bill, and then you got kids, they're fighting, they're arguing, they're just doing something to irritate you, banging on something, or just, and you just yell and scream like, stop, or sit your ass down, or da-da-da-da. And then afterwards, the kids afterwards will say, Ma, you were so rude, or you were so mean, or you were so rude. But it's like, personally, I know that I'm overweight, I'm black, I really don't dress or do my hair. They kind of like took that away from me. Even like going to the dentist, when I went to one dentist and they charged me one price, and then I thought I can go to another dentist and get it the work done cheaper. Then I went to that dentist. He said, well, I'm not going to quote you until you get 6 teeth removed, which 4 were wisdom teeth, but he removed 2 other teeth. And then he quoted me a higher price than the other one. So when you're targeted, you got dentists involved, you got all kind of people involved. So I just don't feel pretty anymore. You know, I didn't even go finish getting either work done or get the partial that I actually needed or whatever it was I needed. My teeth really look bad. My system's breaking down. I have a foul odor coming out of my system. They say it's acid or gastric reflex or whatever they come up with. But honestly, I know without a shadow of a doubt, almost 99.9%, I know that when I was in Stockton, California, 2013, and I was in a motel room and had been drinking, and the guy had made my drink, and I had blanked out, and I don't know what happened. It's sad because when you blank out, you literally don't know what happened or what you did or who did something to you. It's just like that case, like they say, whether you think Bill Cosby did what he did or he didn't. You have those women saying, well, something was in my drink and I don't remember what happened. I just woke up. And that's the truth. I, honest to God, don't know what happened. And that scares me so badly. Because I don't know what they did to me. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's out there floating around. Someone said sex tape out there. I don't know what. I mean, you know, people mumble when they say things. So that's how you kind of pick up because you're targeted. So no one's going to tell you exactly what's all out there about you. But you can kind of pick up the things. I get the fat jokes and black and, you know, the nappy hair or ugly, you know, look like a man type of stuff. I get that a lot. What I've gathered, so that probably is a big thing out there. And then when I was getting high off of drugs, they probably were recording that and putting it up on sites, and just a lot. I don't know, but I know God is real and he's good because he delivered me from drugs and alcohol. And I have to be honest, I was one of the worst alcoholics there was. But if you were to ask me, you know, do you ever think you're going to get clean off alcohol and drugs? Probably the drugs, yeah, at some point, because I was always an alcoholic. So I've been drinking since I was like 12, and I'm 42. So the alcohol, I probably would be like, no, you know. But just going through all the taunting, and now that, you know, I went to the gastrologist a couple times. They did say I had an infection in my small intestine. They did some breath tests. So they said I had high levels of something in my breath. So whatever that is, I got to look it up. Whatever the high levels or whatever was in my breath. When I start getting targeted, you have to think these people set you up. So I was probably smoking all kind of fake drugs. Not saying drugs are good for you at all, but I was indulging in crystal meth. So when the targeting was going on, they were probably mixing it with something that has my system years later messed up. So there's really I don't have a lot of confidence as far as getting dressed up and wanting to do this and do that. I have changed my diet a lot. I took away all the meat. So I don't eat any fried foods or nothing like that. No meat. It's hard for me to really get out and exercise because it's like the constant targeting. But I just need to come to a place and kind of tune it out more, I guess. But when you're getting targeted 24/7, you're getting targeted, you're trying to deal with your children and what they have going on in their lives and at school and their friends, and how are you going to pay for things? Going to work. I was working until The targeting was kind of bad. Like I said, I have 3 small children. So the guy I was with, he would babysit, and he would constantly call me all day like, oh, I can't get the kids to do that, I can't do that, I can't do this, can't do that. And then, almost got into a fight with a girl at work. And then, any little job you go to, it's just like they try to poke and pick at you. And like I said, my attitude has gotten bad from it. So I can't take a lot of the poking and the picking. You can ignore so much. But I'm just thinking about my life. Like, I'm just thinking, like, I never knew that I'd be going through this. And if I knew that I was going through this, maybe I wouldn't have been doing so much sinful stuff, would have had it together. It's hard because when you talk to other targeted individuals, or they get on your page and they see what you post or stuff like that, they kind of judge you. But you have to understand that God can call you from wherever you're at in your life. Like, the devil can test you from, whoever you are, and can test you. But God can also call you. You could be in heavy sin, and the devil has you. You're in heavy sin. But if you are a child of God, you're going to turn away from that sin. You're going to try hard. You're going to pray. You're going to repent and turn away from that sin. So, yeah. You got to look at the people in the Bible that God used. You had one guy that was killing Christians like it was nothing, and God changed him, So we need to stop being so hard on one another, I think. Like, we all are going through this experience, and then throwing darts at each other. Well, you're not really targeted because of this. You're not targeted because of that, because you said this, you did that, or whatever. No, we're targeted. Some are targeted more than others. Not more than, but some people take things different. Since I can remember as a child, I've had trauma, and there's a lot of things that I have done that are very sinful, and I repented for, and I would like to talk more about those things on my channel through my videos, because I do want to help people not make the same mistakes that I've made. But yeah, the world is watching us. See, before I knew about all this stuff, my cousin's kids died. My little cousin, a couple years younger than me, and we used to hang out together like every day and stuff, and take our kids to the park and all this stuff. But one day I was supposed to go pick her up, and I was running late because I was doing my baby's hair, and I was watching the soap opera. I think it was All My Children, I think. This is years ago, maybe 18, 20 years ago. But she kept calling me saying, when are you coming, when are you coming? I was like, I'm coming soon, I'm coming soon. And before I could actually get up to leave, there was an interruption on the TV, and then the news came on. And they said, we have 2 people we airlifted to the hospital, and it's a fire. And this was in Sacramento, California, in the G Parkway apartments years ago. And I actually seen my cousin's house, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, Mom, take me to so-and-so hospital. It's UC Davis Hospital. Got to UC Davis Hospital. I said, do you have, my cousin gave my cousin's name. They said, yeah, we do. Her babies died, burned in the fire. She jumped out the window. And I remember she used to always tell me, oh my God, you got your kids and I don't have my kids. Oh my gosh, God took my kids and you still got your kids. And I think she resented me for that, because she's always felt, and she's till this day, that she was better than me. She never got into heavy drugs or nothing. She doesn't really drink. I think she smokes weed. But and I always had that guilt. Like, I felt guilty. Like, gosh, like, why do I have my kids? Why are her kids, gone in this fire? And that kind of ripped our family apart. But it's just a lot of stuff, Maybe she was a better parent than me. I don't know. I've always been fighting to be a mom, though, because just have, yeah. I just have. And, when I was on drugs and alcohol, and the white husband that I had, he had beat me, and they took the kids to CPS because of the new law they have where if you're fighting or the kids witness domestic violence, they take them away. And when you go to court, you just feel like the worthless piece of shit that you are because they're talking so bad and poorly about you. And then the reality sets in and you're like, oh shit, this is really going on. So I really went to all their little classes, and it's designed to kind of make you fail, though, because you go to class all day and all they talk about is drugs and alcohol. So I kind of told him, I said, look, I had to tell my attorney, I said, look, the only way I'm going to get my kids back if you put me in some type of rehab, because these classes you guys are sending me to, after we sit up and talk about drugs and alcohol all day and how big of a loser I am, I get to go home with no kids, with no responsibility. And not using that for an excuse, but come on, let's be realistic here. So she said, okay, I'm going to put you in a rehab. They put me in rehab, and that was the best thing that could have happened. I learned a lot about myself, and it was good. Got out, eventually got my kids back. But it's a trip because when you go through all this stuff through CPS, they send you through this, is it a parenting class? Tell you how to discipline your children. Now, they don't want you to hit your children. They don't want you to spank your children. You can't do all this stuff to your children, but then your children know when they come back, oh, your mom can't do this, you can't do this, can't do that. I think the government is full of crap. Not saying all children need to be whooped or hit. Growing up, my mom may have whipped me with a switch every once in a while, or if she was combing my hair and I got to moving around and wouldn't be still, she'd probably pop my hand with the comb or whatever, but I didn't get like beat. I didn't get beat or nothing like that. But my grandma always told me there's nothing wrong with whipping a child, because you cannot let a child run over you. And if you don't teach them discipline, they're going to get in the world and they're going to be bad and not really do what they're supposed to do. Nowadays they have it where the parent is in fear of actually whooping their children because, you whoop your child and, if they have a mark or bruise or whatever, they go to school, you're in trouble. And I have light complected children. So it's like if I hit them, even if I hit them with an open hand, pop them, it's probably going to be a red mark or whatever. Or, it's just a trip. Like, now, the government has controlled so much to where you don't even have real control over your children. They'll listen to someone else before they actually listen to you. I think the system is messed up like that because the system removes your kids for way too long. So you don't know what they're actually teaching your children. You don't know what they have going on with your children. But they're letting your children know that you're not shit, basically. And I don't think, I get that some cases are really bad and the kid should be removed and that should happen. Probably you are saving a kid's life. But this other stuff they got going on with all this control is too much. I really think the CPS system is very corrupt. I think that it's a new world order when it comes to the children. I think they have some type of sexual thing going on. Because when your kids are in CPS out here in the state of Nevada, and they have to go to foster care or whatever, they take profile pictures of your kids. And then, so a foster parent could say, okay, well, I want this kid and that kid. Like, you don't know what those people are teaching your kids. You don't know. It's probably more deaths in the CPS system than there is actual with children that have the parents that have their kids that are struggling. Do you know, I got to get close to one foster mom, and I think she told me she got, I'm not sure because it's been a long time, but I don't know if she said she got $5,000 a kid or was it $10,000 a kid a month to foster each kid. And I was saying to myself, some people in the welfare system can be helped out. Maybe if, look at the budget, what they give people on welfare. Let's be realistic. They give you what? I think for 3 kids out here, I get $386 or something. And even if you go to work, so even when I'm working, I gotta make sure, when I was working, I had to make sure I didn't make that much money, or they would cut this part or cut that part, or wouldn't give me food stamps, or would take away the Medicaid, or, you know, so it's all just a corrupt setup. So the only way to get over the government is to be self-efficient. Like to get, you know, make sure you have your own insurance, make sure that you could pay for food, make sure you could pay for a roof, clothing, all that. Because when you depend on the government for help and assistance, it's very tricky. And my cousin, like I said, had lost the kids or whatever in the fire. And I ended up going to go get on SSI. So I was like, this is a lot, you know, I couldn't deal with it. I didn't know what else to do. Like, so I went to go get on SSI. They approved me. And with depression or whatever. So ever since then, I was on it. But if I knew the things that I know now, I would have never signed up or got SSI. Because it labels you as being crazy when you get SSI. A lot of people are not crazy that get SSI are not crazy. A lot of people that go to the crazy house aren't even crazy. If you see the stuff that we're going through, just imagine, I don't want to say if your mind's not strong enough, but just imagine if you're going through the stuff that we're going through and you just absolutely cannot believe it. So you go somewhere to go get some help and they say, well, we're going to admit you to the crazy house. Oh, you're going crazy. Blah, blah this. Blah, blah that. You know, so it just sucks. It's sad, you know? It's really sad. I know they're making a lot of money off of us because it's like we're famous, but we're not getting the money. They're getting the money for putting whatever they're putting out about us to the world. While people are sitting back judging us, laughing, and all this other stuff, we're suffering and can barely make ends meet and don't know what our next move is and don't really know how safe we are as a whole. You know, it's crazy because I was waiting on this section. I really don't want to be in Reno, Nevada, but I was waiting on the Section 8. It's been about over a year, and they had me get fingerprint. I went to the interview, everything, And they're like, okay, well, your fingerprints came all back clear. You should be getting called soon. Shortly, your voucher should be coming up. Then the lady called me and was like, okay, well, it's going to be at least 6 more months to a year before we can get you into a place because we have to take the homeless people first. And I'm telling her, like, lady, look, I'm barely holding on. My rent's $1,000. My income is $1,000, $1,086 total. Me and my kids are going to be out on the streets. We're going to be homeless. She's like, well, you're not homeless yet, and blah, 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 this. And I'm just saying to myself, this is all I don't know what else to do. You know? I'm just trying to keep me and my kids together going through this. If you really don't have, like, a good man or a boyfriend or what it is, then, you know, you're kind of screwed. You know, maybe it's my look. That's why I'm single. I don't really have a good man. Or maybe it's the odor smell. I don't know. The guy that I have that was sent into my life, I know it wasn't by God. God did not send him into my life because of how he is. And like I said, it's not to put him down. He's not a bad person. Just, I have 3 small children. I don't need anyone that is, not saying stingy, but I don't need anyone that's selfish around. And plus, he doesn't really understand what I'm going through. And all he can care about is smoking his weed and going to go watch a football game, you know. And then when I point something out to him or something, oh, that's just all in your head. Those people aren't following you. Oh, so since that person has one headlight out, you mean to tell me they're following you? Yeah, that one has one headlight out. You see the other 2 cars behind them have headlights out? Yeah, so that's just giving out more energy. So, you know, I just had to let that go. And, you know, he helped out a little bit, you know. He was giving $1,000 a month, which I actually needed because the rent was $1,000. But, not the situation I'm in. Because in the situation that you're in and the energy that's being taken away from you, it's just a lot. No, all I can do is just keep praying to God and hoping this just passes or something. I don't know. We're just screwed. I know my kids are getting bullied at school. I know that much. My daughter, by the sounds of it, one of her teachers is a perp, if you ask me. She says she picks on her all the time. The certain things that she says. So my daughter thought she had lice, or we thought she had lice, and so I looked it up, like a best home remedy, and I know they said you can get cinnamon and I forgot what else. So I put it in her hair and tried to strip her hair out, you know, rinsed it out. But you know, cinnamon kind that has like a strong smell. But if you smelled it, it smelled like, oh, that smells good. It smells like cinnamon. But she went to school and the teacher said, oh my gosh, that smells. Someone smells like cinnamon. Oh my gosh, it smells so bad. So it hurt her feelings so bad that she came and called me, and I just went to the school and just picked her up. Like, you know, the nurse was like, I can't believe, you know, the teacher would say that. I mean, I can't believe that. I don't know why she would do that. And I was like, yeah, she did that. And then the other little kids start taunting my daughter, you know. So this is just, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just keep praying to God. But, you know, it's like you complain, you get upset. And because I have a lot to think about, you know, when I make a move, not saying I have any savings or anything, but you know, like when you're being prosecuted so much in one little town, you do need to move, you know, but it's hard to just me to just pack up and move. I have 3 little kids. I have to make sure that I'm not messing up. And I hope that I'm not messing up just sitting, standing still either. My gut, my instinct is telling me, get your kids and just go. But then it's like, get my kids and go where? Someone said that, I'm not going to say who, but someone was saying that, like, they had, like, abandoned places, and there's a law where if you stay there long enough that they can't just put you out or whatever. That would solve me having to pay rent. But then if I go do that, I don't know anyone, and I have my 3 small kids. I don't have any family members to go to because, they're alcoholics. It's a joke. They laugh, like, oh, someone's really following you. Oh, someone's really fucking with you. Oh, that's the alcohol you do, and that's the drugs. You better stay out with drugs. Ain't for everybody. It's just the constant, it's a joke. It's a mocking. It's a joke. So it's not going to happen. And I don't want to borrow any money from any family members. And I don't want to borrow any money from no one, because I don't want that. That's another burden you have to have on you, is when you're going to be able to pay someone back. How are you going to get the money to pay them back? And then when the guy, was staying, or we were staying together, every little extra money that I had, I would, get online and try to buy my kids some decent clothes, so when they are going to school, they're not getting teased. One less thing they have to worry about, but, I don't know. I don't really know.